welcome to another video, and today I'm going to be drawing based on words again. So the first word is regality, which basically means being royal or king-like. So when I was doing this one, I I wanted to draw my character, one of the characters from last week, because I wanted to draw him because I've been drawing him a lot lately. I just created him, so obviously I'm like, I want to draw that character. He's so cool, and I love his character design. So here I'm just like making sure the eyes are like one eye apart, because I've been trying to focus on that, because once I get a feel for what that looks like, hopefully it'll help me make 3/4 view drawing better, because I suck at that, which is crazy because everyone's like, it's the best because it's easy, and I'm like, no, it's not easy, it sucks, and it's specifically the eyes that suck. I can do basically everything else. Anyway, so originally I was just gonna like do a normal king, but then I was like, I want to draw one of my characters, because like, why wouldn't I want to? So I looked up a pose of like just somebody sitting, and I was like, and I found one on Pinterest, and I kind of used it as a reference. I sketched it out on my sketchbook like I usually do, and then just like the base pose, and then I imported it in, and now I'm just kind of sketching in the character. I wanted to, since it's only the base, I wanted to do a second sketch instead of immediately going to line art like I do sometimes. So I just sketched out the pose, and like I did change it a little bit. One of the arms is down lower. My cat is outside. I don't know if you can hear her screaming for me to let her in, but she would literally launch herself onto my back if I did that. That's not happening. You're adorable, but not right now. So if you weren't here for last week's video, basically he's like the god of life. And yeah, he's also called like the broken god, and he's really cool, and he has this really cool backstory and stuff. So in the art, I wanted to try out something a little bit new, so I tried to add an underpainting. So I used blues. I was just experimenting, so I used a blue. I was originally going to do a green, but I felt like there was so much green in his character design, I wanted like a different color to be there, so that's why I went with the blue. And then I decided to have a portrait in the back, because like, you know how kings have like the portrait of them, and sometimes their queen and stuff in the back. So that's what I decided to do. I was originally going to do like a whole brick texture in the back, but I forgot. And I think with the texture of the lighting and the finishing touches, it looks fine without it. So when I was shading the gold, I saw this thing, and it's like, you put the shadows right next to the highlights, so you can see the contrast a lot better, and it makes it look a lot more shiny. So I tried to focus on that when I was drawing it. If you don't know anything about Vitan, basically he was a human turned god, and basically what happened was the big bad came. He was the hero, and he was going to save them all, but he was in love, and he decided, and his like love interest was poisoned. He's like, no, I'm going to save her. The only way to save her, he ended up going to the enemy and making a deal, and they made him the god of life. And with that ability, he could save her, but you can't bring someone back to life, so he has to give her more life so that she would survive. But by the time he got back, she was already dead, and he was tied into this deal of, we heal her, we give you the power to heal her, and you don't fight us anymore. And so he can't fight them anymore, because he's still tied into that deal, even though he couldn't save her. So that's his basic story. He doesn't show up very often in the world that like that he gave life to. He just did it as a favor to the people, to his friends, basically. You know, you got the hero with the friends. Anyway, but he doesn't actually show up. He doesn't talk to anyone. People barely know he exists. So yeah, I'm not super happy with like the hand pose on the one side, but I think it works out fine. It looks okay. So yeah, on to the next one. So the next one, the word I got, which isn't honestly that difficult, was clutch. So for this one, I decided to do like, it's basically the sketch that I used for one of the other characters' hands. It's a sketch that I used as a reference for my sketchbook, and I decided I wanted to like do that like super zoomed in and with like very clean and like rendered. So that's what I decided to do. So I'm just doing very clean, thick liner because I wanted to have this certain look on it, and I wanted it to be, you know, very clean and nice and neat. Basically, when I drew this, I was doing, I forget the name of the website, but basically, I'll put it on the screen if I remember it. But basically, you go on the website and you can choose whatever you want to reference, and it will show you pictures for 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, however long you want, and it will only show you that picture, and you've got to sketch like the picture in that amount of time. And so that's where I did what I did. I just slowed down some of the liner so you could like really see how slow I'm doing this because I wanted it to be super clean. So I think it's really interesting because I feel like I'm doing line art so much faster, and then you see it super slow like this, and it's like, wow, I'm a really slow drawer. Really slow at drawing lines. I decided to add fingernails. I don't usually, but since it's super zoomed in, I decided to add that little detail. And then I started my coloring. Basically just kind of experimenting with different brushes to figure out exactly what I wanted to do before I actually chose it. I chose like a mid-tone skin tone, and then I just did the base colors. I don't usually show base colors because I just don't. It's the easiest thing to cut out when you're editing. It's like, this is boring, I got nothing to say, so I'm gonna cut it out. But since I didn't have very much footage for this video, and this picture specifically, I was like, I'll keep it. So you know how when you like have the lighter and it's holding a lighter and it's lit, so it's like, I'm gonna do blue flames because usually they're blue. I don't think the flames were the best, but with the lighting and everything, I think it looks okay. It's a flame, so you got the pretty heavy lighting coming from the flame and down. So I tried to do pretty dark shadows. I messed with a couple of brushes, but I ended up just going with the normal one because I couldn't find the exact thing that I wanted. So I just went in and I basically just blended out all the shadows. I kept some of them harsh and some of them not as harsh. I ended up going a lot darker on the fingers just because I wanted it to look a lot more like it's coming down. So I wanted it to be a lot harsher. And then I added some blue because color theory, apparently, to make the shadows look cooler and just like better and more dynamic. Is dynamic the word? I think so. If it's not, then I don't know. And then I added in the lighting, so like all the highlights, and I wanted them to be fairly bright because, you know, it's a very direct light source. So I went in, and then when I went in with my final touch shading, I decided to make it like a lot of shading but also a lot of highlights specifically around the flame. And then I also did a layer that wasn't add glow. I thought it was a good final touch for this picture. So yeah, there's that one. For clutch. And then the last one was bloodmobile, and this one was like kind of fun. It was also kind of not, because it's like, I don't want to just like draw a regular old little bloodmobile. I wanted to draw something cool. Basically, a bloodmobile is one of those places where you go to get your blood drawn, but I wanted to do a little twist on the word, so I drew a car and I put blood on it because why not? I had a lot of fun sketching the car in my sketchbook. It was I don't usually draw cars. This was kind of fun. I don't think I got the wheels right though. The wheels were an issue, as you can probably tell. But I think I got them to look kind of okay. So I eventually did. So when I was actually coloring it, I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to do it, but I decided on red and white. So I started out with a dull red and like put it on the front, then I used a smudge tool to smudge it out, and then I added some smudges on just like generally around, and then I went in and with a white, because I wanted the car to be white with black accents, so I went in with a white and I colored it in. And then I went in with a gray at first, but then I wanted it to be a little bit darker, so I went with gray on the wheels and then black on the accents of the car, and then black wheels, because why not? They're cool. I've never really drawn a car specifically before, which I mentioned, and it was really interesting. I found like this cool reference that I used specifically, and it was like, these are like the guidelines that you're supposed to use. I just found it on Pinterest, and I was like, I'm gonna follow that because that's smart. And then I just kind of sketched it in. It was really fun to draw something a little bit different. It was, because I feel like if I actually knew perspective, I would love drawing perspective drawings. Maybe I should do a whole like thing on that, like a study on perspective. I really should, but I really like drawing characters. Anyway, so that's the last one. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.